Chapter 1. Subject X. Standard Procedure. X swallowed the yellow-green mixture in a single gulp. As it passed through his oral cavity, the substance intensely activated his taste buds. The pronounced bitterness stimulated specific receptors, triggering a reflex that made swallowing difficult. The liquid quickly traversed the esophagus under the effect of peristaltic contractions and reached the stomach. Upon contact with the acidic gastric environment, MEX immediately felt sharp abdominal pain, a sign of an unusual chemical interaction with the digestive mucosa. The substance nevertheless seemed partially resistant to digestive enzymes. After an accelerated transit, it reached the small intestine. At this stage, some of its molecular fractions crossed the intestinal barrier and were absorbed by the villi, entering the bloodstream. The amount absorbed was minimal, but sufficient to initiate a systemic biological process. Once in the blood, the molecular motors associated with the substance activated. These structures, previously folded and inert, deployed and actively migrated toward the cellular membranes. They specifically targeted membrane proteins and lipids, binding with remarkable affinity. This new association profoundly altered the organization of the membranes. Their fluidity, permeability, and architecture were modified, causing rapid morphological transformations at the cellular level. The consequences of these rearrangements were spectacular. Cells began to adopt unprecedented shapes, signaling a deep reconfiguration of MX's organism. MX lost consciousness and slipped into a deep coma. His brain activity dropped sharply, while his vital functions became unstable. Dr. Henry Carlos, assisted by 3 nurses, quickly took charge. They positioned X at the center of a white, gleaming medical capsule, whose carbon fiber structure provided rigidity, lightness, and electromagnetic isolation. The capsule partially closed around the body, instantly integrating biometric sensors on the skin surface. Marie S. implemented the respiratory assistance. A flexible tube, made of a composite of memory-shaped biomedical polymers, was carefully inserted into MX's trachea. The device automatically adapted to the airway diameter, minimizing tissue damage. At its distal end, the conduit branched into microchannels, gradually extending into the bronchioles and down to the pulmonary alveoli. Gas exchange was then managed by an artificial intelligence respiratory system capable of adjusting pressure, frequency, and gas composition in real time. All ventilatory functions were transferred to the AI, which synchronized artificial respiration with X's metabolic parameters, maintaining his body in a controlled survival state. Zitia P., the second nurse, then connected X to the nutritive AI system via the already installed gastric cannula. The device anchored directly to the stomach, ensuring a continuous and controlled digestive perfusion. This artificial intelligence was designed to maintain MX's energy and metabolic supply throughout the coma. It provided nutrition exclusively composed of plant proteins and mineral salts, delivered at concentrations precisely adjusted to cellular needs. The system relied on an integrated biological unit composed of unicellular algae maintained in culture. Exposed to calibrated spectrum artificial light, these microorganisms continuously produced amino acids, simple carbohydrates, and trace elements. The synthesized compounds were then filtered, sterilized, and transformed into a directly assimilable nutrient solution. The nutritive AI regulated the composition of the inflowing solution in real time, based on physiological data from internal sensors. Glucose levels, ionic balance, enzymatic activity, and energy consumption. Thus, despite prolonged unconsciousness, X's homeostasis was maintained artificially and autonomously. Elisabeth V., the last arrival in the Hibernation AI unit, took charge of the renal system. After a brief check by Dr. Henry Carlos, she installed the excretion AI module at MX's kidneys. The device quickly connected to the nephrons, ensuring blood filtration, hydromineral regulation, and waste elimination. The associated artificial intelligence continuously adjusted ionic flows and plasma volume, compensating for the physiological inactivity induced by the prolonged coma. Once the parameters were validated, the main switch was activated. Closing the electrical circuit triggered the initial phase of incarceration. The carbon fiber medical capsule hermetically sealed around X's body, completely isolating the internal environment. An articulated mechanical arm deployed, folded with precision, and immediately transported the capsule. It was transferred to Unit LXI of Block 5 for provisional confinement, where X officially entered a state of hibernation under full automated system monitoring. This is the first chapter of my science fiction book, written in 2020. If you enjoyed this chapter, please like and subscribe to motivate me to present Chapter 2.